Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting video series on BGP best path selection, or call it as a BGP attributes. So in this video, today's topic would be the third attribute, locally originate. So as I have made few videos in the past discussing about the different BGP attributes, like the first on the top on the hierarchy is the highest weight, second goes to highest local preference, third goes to prefer locally originate. That is the topic for today's discussion and configuration live in this lab. Fourth goes to the AS path preference, and fifth goes to lowest origin type, and sixth goes to the med multi-exit discriminator, or you can call as a matrix also. They're one and the same. All right, so today's topic is BGP prefers locally originated routes. So what I'm trying to say is, for example, the router 1 has eBGP peer to router 2 and router 3, as here as you see here. And again, the router 2 and 3 are neighbor to external switch 1. So basically, the router 1 has routes, knows to get reach the external switch 1 on this networks, for this networks 10, 100 and 200 through router 2 or as well as router 3. If I go to the router 1, if I do show IP BGP summary, as you see, router 2 and router 3 are my eBGP peers, right? And if I do show IP BGP, you will see, let me first take you here to my external switch 1. If I do show IP interface brief e and assign, these are the networks loopback 0, 100 and 200 we are interested in. So the router 1 learns those networks through two different routes, router 2 and router 3. As you see here, the 10 dot network, it has 192.168.1.2 and another 192.158.1.2. That means, but this one is the preferred route, 158.1.0. And if I go to on the another route, 100.100.100, it's selecting 192.158.1.2 as a preferred route. So it's taking router 1 to router 2 to external switch 1. We can do a quick trace route to see how it's taking that. Trace route. Oh. So as you see, it's taking 192.158.1.2 and 172.168.1.2 to get to the external switch 1. So our task challenge is to let me stop this. Our challenge is to flip this from router 3 to router 2. So we will flip the router 1 going to the router 3 to get to the external switch 2. Instead of doing that, we will make router 1 to get to router 2 to get to the external switch 1. All right, and also just keep a note of this. As you see here in my IP BGP table, you see the preferred route is 192.158 for both networks. So we will discuss about making this prefix, this network, reachable over 2. I mean, it is reachable, but it's not preferred, right? As you see, 192.168, this interface, it's also there, but it's not preferred. Anything where you see star and greater symbol is the preferred, right? So we're going to flip that from router 3 to router 2. So how I'm going to do that, I will go on to the so before I do that configuration, let me explain you one more time. When I say the router 1 prefers, the description locally originate, what it means in the simple term, router 1 would prefer route advertised from any of the neighbor using the commands like network or redistribute connected commands, instead of if a neighbor is advertising the same network as an aggregate address. So what I mean is, if I go to the router 2 show run sig BGP, let me quickly copy this. As you see here, router 2 is advertising its networks as a redistribute connected, right? And router 3 is also doing the same thing, as you see here, redistribute connected. So if I go and change one of the router advertisement from redistribute connected to aggregate address summarized only, what it does, say like if I do that on router 3, it will prefer to router 2, because router 2 is just using redistribute connected, or it could also be using network blah blah blah, instead of using aggregate address. So what we're going to do, So if I do a trace route here on the router 1, it's going to 192.168.1.2 to the router 3, right? So let me go to the router 3 and do show IP BGP. So this particular network 100.1.1, we will make it as aggregate address and advertise to the router 1. So the same network from the router 2, we won't do anything here. Show IP BGP. So I'm not going to do anything here. We will just use this same as is, because this 100 network is advertised as redistribute connected. But on the router 3, we will change that to aggregate address only. So let me go here, run say BGP. So you will see what I mean if you still have any confusion there. So we'll go to router 300. Then I will give command aggregate address. Let's pick up the one particular subnet prefix 100.100. Instead of everything, let's only pick up target at one prefix 100.100.100 0.0 255.255.0.0. Just summarize only. All right. And let's confirm what we just did. Right now, let's go and clear the BGP session. Come on, nothing better. Clear IP BGP. Be careful using this command on your production environment. Right. So let's me go and reset the same thing on router 1. Now let's do a trace route to the same network. Okay. Now you see that after we give the aggregate summarized, whatever the command we put here, aggregate address, so and so prefix, so and so subnet mask with summarize only. Now you see the change happened on the router 1. Now before that it was taking 172.168.1.2 router 3, but we flipped that to, let me stop this trace. Right, now we flip that trace to 192.168.1.2, this guy 172.158.1.2. So if I do let me go to the router 3. What I mean here is, if I go to section 3, so for that particular prefix, I'm not using a redistribute connected anymore. What I'm saying, advertise this prefix using this aggregate address, summarized only. So this particular prefix is been advertised from router 3 using this aggregate address, and from router 2 the same prefix is advertised as redistribute connected, or it could have been by network command, right? Right, so we are advertising all the networks using redistribute. So router 1 prefers any route it has received or advertised from a peer using the command redistribute connected or network. These two are preferred over this router 3, aggregate summarized only. So in simple language, it prefers more specific routes over the aggregate address, summarized address, right? That's all it is. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Thanks for your valuable time. See you in the next. Thank you.